Good morning, Timothy Richards. How the hell are you? Happy Monday, if there is such a thing. Oh shit. Sup, Bill? Well, I'll tell you. I got up way too stinking early. I don't know. I probably got 3 solid hours of sleep, so I can't complain. Woke up with a little bit of med head. I took a Xanax last night to help knock myself out. And so I got a little bit of brain fog, but I laid down some tracks for Kirk about 5:30, and so I sent him the video performance for the Ride the Lightning video thing we're doing together, so he can edit that. And then now I just have to get the solo to him. Monday is now. What is now? Well, I don't even know what part of the country you live in. On the East Coast here, of course, it's 8:57, but shit, you might be somewhere else, or it's even earlier. And if that's the case, my condolences. But yeah, did that. Took about 10 takes to shake the cobwebs out of my head. And get that sent off to him. I reviewed some footage from last night, and I took about 3 cuts from the spontaneous live stream last night that I'm going to use for shorts. So it's been productive, been slow. It's been a productive morning. I fed the cat, made my coffee. Found one of my mics. One of my mics is missing, but it'll show up. Logan, Ohio. Well, yeah, you're not too far from the Ube then. Because I think he's somewhere around that part of the country. So yeah, early. I think that's still Pacific time, isn't it? Oh no, I'm thinking of Idaho, Ohio. No, that's totally different. I think you're Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Central Time, but I'm not sure about that. I've never been good with that. Eastern. Oh, well, you're on the East Coast with me, pretty much. Close enough. Too damn early wherever you are. 9 a.m. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yes, it is. Creeping right up on it. So you got work? You heading to work, or hanging, working around the house, or running errands, or what you got going on today? Who's that? You got someone there at the house with you? Hey man, I played with a couple of rock stars. I will admit that. I was very lucky. I was very fortunate, and both of them were very great people. Even even the guys from the mentors, which even the guys from the mentors, which you wouldn't think, you'd think they were just a bunch of sleazeballs or whatever. But Steve, Dr. Heathen Scum, as he's known by on stage, perfect gentleman, totally professional. He's an engineer. He works for Teledyne for a long time, and he travels the world doing just high tech microcomputer stuff. I don't know. I can't even wrap my head around the stuff that he does. But in his spare time, 6 months, during the winter months, he gets together with the old gang, and he picks up some new people sometimes, and they tour the West Coast, or sometimes they go overseas, sometimes they come out east. And he called me up. The drummer called me up back in 2011 in November and asked me if I wanted to do the winter tour up the West Coast, and I said, "Hell yeah," because I hadn't played for a long time, and I was itching to get out there. So that was a blast. It was only 2 weeks. It was only 2 weeks, but 2 weeks I'll never forget. It was a lot of fun. But thank you. But thanks, man. The real rock star here is Vinny the cat, and I don't think you can see him from here. Vinny, come on over here. He's sitting in the window. I'd have to change the camera around for you to get a proper view, but you've seen his hairy ass before. Let's play some music. It's Monday. Let's play some Monday music. Tomorrow we'll play Tuesday music. It's still going to be the same music. Hopefully not. Hopefully, that's on the agenda today. Is hopefully I get a cover or two or three that I can throw into the set, so I can keep this thing fresh, keep it going fresh. But time will tell. I'm in North Carolina. Damn right. The Western North Carolina, west of Asheville, which is pretty much a wannabe little Seattle. So we're closer to the mountains. We're far away from the capital, far away from Charlotte and Raleigh. So the rest of the state doesn't give a shit about us here. We have the worst infrastructure in the state, the worst internet in the state, as you can tell by my streams a lot of times. The money doesn't make it out here. The internet connections don't get dug, and the flood from Helene back in November or October didn't help things. It's like it seems like every couple of days someone splits a fiber optic line while they're working on something, and our internet goes out for 5 hours or whatever. Fayetteville. You worked in Fayetteville. Nice. I've never been there. I've been back and forth to North Carolina since my late 20s. My mom used to live out here when she was still alive, and she did the flea market circuit. And her and her boyfriend did Georgia, Pickens. Pickens was big. All over North Carolina, South Carolina, and down to Florida. They sold rope, they sold pallet goods, and they did pretty good for a long time. And I came down here and tried my hand at that at one point about 1995, and I didn't know that I was living only 10 minutes away from my future wife, who is Mrs. Reptilian, who I had met in Seattle. We broke up when we were kids. We dated for a while back in 1987. Pick a camera. And for about 4 weeks or whatever. and stayed in contact for a few weeks after that. But then we split up, and she came back to North Carolina, which is her home because she grew up in Cherokee. But I moved literally just maybe 5 miles from where she was living at the time. It was crazy. But I hooked back up with her on the internet after her last marriage failed back in 2005, and we got together, and I came out here in 2006, and been here ever since. And I still don't know the area where the shit. But I just know that if you go to South Carolina, I'll get lost in South Carolina. It seems like the directions for everything are backwards. Without a GPS, of course, the last time I tried driving in South Carolina, we didn't have, all the GPS we have now. But it's not bad. The weather is a lot more humid than I'm used to. Washington State was really dry, and a lot of sunshine in eastern Washington, where I grew up. Of course, I lived a lot of my life over on the other side of the mountains, the other side of the Cascades, around Seattle and the Puget Sound area, and a lot more rain over there. A lot of drizzle, just drizzle. And if you went to buy a used car, chances are the wipers didn't work because they were worn out just from turning them off and on and off and on and off and on all the time, because that's how it rained out there. It's not like it hardly ever rained hard out here. When it rains, it comes down. Mostly East Coast. Traveled for first 20 years of your career. Well, was your career military, or just something that took you all over the road, truck driver, something? Or see, that's what my dad did. Ironwork. Nice. Oh yeah, we need more of those. Good morning, Jimmy Biter. I am sorry, I called you Jimmy Bitter the other night. It's my dyslexia. I saw two T's. And I apologize, man. I'm sorry. Jimmy Biter, right? So now I have it correct. Of course, now I see 4 M's, so it's Jimmy Biter. Skyscrapers. I don't think I could do that. I used to have more nerve. I used to want to do skydiving, but now you 4 feet off the ground and I'm looking around for something to grab. That takes some balls, man. I don't even want to get in a plane anymore. Since we're talking about careers, I've done a lot of different stuff, but mostly professional driving, or not professional driving like a race car driver, but commercial driving is usually mostly what I did before I got injured. I drove taxi for a while. I love driving cab. That was one of my favorite gigs. You meet all kinds of people driving cab. And it wasn't like Uber. I mean, you had to. I mean, they did background checks and certifications, the licenses, the whole 9 yards. It was a real thing. I mean, nothing against people that are out there delivering DoorDash and stuff like that, because they're running their asses off and they're tearing up their vehicles just for a few bucks. It's just the big corporations that I don't like. But oh yeah, the best view in the house, I bet. Especially in the mornings, get those beautiful golden sun, get the sun coming up and you're way up there. And of course, that'd be I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. That's nuts. To me, that's crazy. It's like those people that walk the bridges, you know, the like the but America needs people to do that shit. We appreciate it. We couldn't have that stuff without you guys. FedEx. Oh, your best hat, right? Sweet. What part of California? I used to live in Arizona. I've lived in a lot of different places in the country. And I lived in Kingman for a while. And that wasn't too far from Los Angeles or Las Vegas as far as that goes. But I love that country. I love the dry desert country. The Mojave Desert is one of my favorite places in the United States. Track, and I'm sure you guys are probably getting tired of these by now, but I need some more warm-up time, need some more exercise, so let's do one of these. Well, I was trying to play Anthrax last night, and I had played that for so many years. That was a lot of fun. Having a lot of that stuff coming back to me. Not that it all came back to me, but the nostalgia was cool. I like nostalgia. Going back in the day. Can kind of remember some of that. Hey, Amro Musa, is that correct? Amro Musa, very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming by, man. How the hell you doing? Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I don't know if you got a channel or anything, but if you do, if you want to share it, there's the ability to do so. Feel free. People come by. Like then we'll be able to share this stuff. So. All right, I think I'm in tunes. Not really. No, not a problem, man. Welcome aboard anyway. Welcome aboard just the same. And it's Monday morning. My brain is kind of foggy and slowed like everybody else. And just thinking about the crap I got to do for the rest of the day. I'm not even thinking about the rest of the week. I kind of gathered that from your name. Not that I'm a big globetrotter, but it sounded pretty close to that vicinity. So right on. Are you in Egypt now, or are you somewhere else right now? We're curious. We want to know where you are. We're coming to get you. Now we're just curious, man. You're in Egypt, sweet. Really? Wow, that is cool. What part? What part of Egypt? Middle Eastern bands? I don't know any, quite honestly. Um, you can share some links to some cool ones if you've got them. I'd be happy to check them out. I have seen a few in recent years. I can't remember their names. Some really good hard stuff like Sepultura. Of course, Sepultura is from Brazil, but I mean bands of that nature, bands that are really heavy and thrashing. Mara, thanks. Right on. Myrath or Marath. I'm gonna copy and paste that because I am gonna look that up. Not this. Well, maybe this very moment. If I have the bandwidth, I'm going to copy it to my notes so I don't forget it. But let's check out, see what they're all about. I got to open up another YouTube instance, and I'm assuming they're metal, but I could be wrong. Myrath official. That looks good, like a good place to start as any. Playback pause because your account is being used in another location. What? Oh, because I'm using another browser? Well, that's stupid. Well, let's see. Myrath Dance.
It has been more than a year since Mira's avatars have freed Baghdad from the evil oppression of Sultan Jafar. But in the far east, in Samarkand, his cousin Sultan Omar is seeking vengeance. Beware, Mirath. Shaheli, the mad wind is blowing, and sandstorms are coming.
يا جماعة وينكم هاي؟ نزل يا عزيز. الحمد لله عليك. امبوتياج، والله امبوتياج كما نقول لك والله.
Ça fait 1 heure que ton cousin il t'attend.
Qui?
Ton cousin.
Où?
في بيتك يا زاهر في بيتك.
امبوسيبل. لا 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 ما تمسش.
That sounds cool.
Trust me, you'll be starry-eyed if you're not afraid to drive out your sorrow. Thunderstorm had just begun. I can't wait to see your wheels floating all under my eyes and feel alive.
Well, I can't. Over here, I can't say I agree with that because our police have got totally shit on in the last few years, and I totally support our law enforcement now. I can't speak for the law enforcement everywhere around the world, so you know, and it's not always the same everywhere. So I hope, you know, if you got a bad situation going on over there, I hope it gets fixed. But our men in blue, and you know, there's bad cops everywhere. There's good cops, there's bad cops, but our former administration pretty much destroyed a lot of the precincts and a lot of the police's ability to do anything. That's why California is such a mess, because nobody gets arrested for doing anything. They just go around and tear shit up, break into stores, burn down neighborhoods, and the cops just got their hands tied. They can't do a fucking thing. and that shit pisses me off. But there's bad cops, and when cops go bad, I think they should get the full extent of the law thrown at them, because that's a position of trust. It's a position of power, but it's also a position of trust. And we got them around here too. But we got a lot of good guys out there too, just trying to do the right thing. No matter what group of people you're looking at, you know. Well, for the most part, there's some groups of people that are just hell bent on making everybody else miserable, and I say fuck those people. You know, no matter who they are, no matter what they're wearing, who they're associating with, or whatever. You know, if you got nothing better to do than to just cause trouble for people that are just trying to live life, and just screw you. You know. That's about as political as I get on here. What I like to do is play music, and I'm gonna play some music. Black Sabbath. Hopefully you like Black Sabbath. Hopefully I can still play Black Sabbath. That is really cool because I got to see Black Sabbath in 1998 on their first reunion tour. I love Iommi. Iommi is my man. Iommi and Page, totally. Jimmy Page and Tony Iommi pretty much are what I cut my teeth on when I was learning to play guitar when I was you know, and I tell people, yeah, you know, I saw Kiss when I was 12. That's what got me interested in the guitar. But when I picked up the guitar And after about a year of playing it, then I started getting into Van Halen, and then I got into Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and Rush, and that's where everything. Well, I am surrounded by bluegrass here in Western North Carolina. We have two kinds of music. We have bluegrass and gospel, and nothing against either one of them, but that's not my bag. I live far away from the music scene, so I have to make my own music scene, and thank God there's YouTube and stuff like that to do that. But hell yeah, that's cool. You caught 2 concerts from Sabbath during their 13 album tour. Nice. I think that's probably the last any of us are going to get to see those guys. They all looked, everybody on that show that night, almost everybody looked so nervous. I think, I don't think Ozzy has much time left. Poor guy, but damn, it's amazing that he's still alive. It is nothing short of a miracle that guy is still, period. Any of them, all 4 members. That doesn't happen a lot with these bands, especially when a band like that invented a genre. Just nuts. Oh, it's 2 different things. I get that, and I can appreciate that. They're both very, very distinct singers, but what about Gillan? I love the Gillan during Born Again, and the time that Ian Gillan was with Sabbath. That was some of the best music Sabbath ever put out. Some of it, not the best, some of the best. But apart from those 3, I never really cared for, what was his name, Tony Martin. Some of the other singers that Iommi hired. Born Again, I really liked Born Again. Heaven and Hell, of course. Mob Rules, of course. Badass stuff. Love Mob Rules. In fact, that's what we'll do. That's exactly what we'll do. Haha, 5150. Yeah, sometimes I play the whole intro, especially when I'm doing the beginning of a stream. This is just an unscheduled stream, so it's just really laid back, and I'll do whatever. And which I'm, I'm kind of willing to do that on the scheduled streams, like Thursday night, Saturday night, Saturday morning. But when I'm just doing random things like this, anything goes. I'll do just about anything. I'll play licks. Someone was saying last night they liked Rainbow and they were requesting Rainbow, and I didn't see it till after I turned off the stream and I checked out the chat. But someone said "Man on the Silver Mountain," and of course I love that track, and it's on my wife's playlist when she goes to town. It's in her car. She listens to that at least once a day. That's her favorite Dio song, and of course I love it. And I love Deep Purple and Rainbow. Shit, all that stuff. All that stuff. Speaking of Ian and Deep Purple. I like Blackmore a lot. Cripple Creek. I'm sure you could find 100 guys around here that could play Cripple Creek. At least 100. In fact, there's a mandolin store not even 5 minutes from here. I swear, I'm not even making that up. Ugh. Mandolins, acoustic guitars, Martins, lots of Martins. A lot of Martins and Breedloves and Taylors out here. Sales of Sharon. Or Karen. I think it's pronounced Karen, actually. Sales of Karen. Man, I haven't jammed to that for a long time, and right now I've got kind of a mental block about how it starts. But Uli John Roth. Oh, now there's a stylist. There's a guy that can. Oh, fuck yeah, Scorpions. That was, of course, talking about growing up again. In that order, pretty much was Kiss, of course, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Rush, Scorpions, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and AC/DC at the same time. Of course, if you try and do an AC/DC cover using any kind of backing tracks that are AC/DC backing tracks, if you try to play along with an AC/DC pre-recorded track, they will block you in a heartbeat. So I got to do those by scratch, which I might end up doing because I like AC/DC. But yeah, the Scorpions, hell yeah. All the way back to Virgin Killer, the Tokyo Tapes, UFO too. Also, anything Michael Schenker, Mad Axe Man. You know, Armed and Ready. Just good stuff. Of course, German hard rock, metal. Or what about another piece of meat? Or slipping out of it a little bit, but yeah. Virgin Killer. YouTube. Dave. Let's check out Dave. Dave somebody. Let's go there, find out who we got. Oh, Six Stringer. Yeah, I know this guy. I've been catching his videos off and on for years. I'm subscribed. I am a subscriber. But I don't have all my notifications on. Does he ever do any live stuff? He's got this one video about a...
Well, guys, guess what? We're doing a Leo James guitar with no unboxing.
He's got a really beautiful red Leo James that he's holding in this video. And I checked out part of it the other day, but I haven't had any time in the last couple of weeks to look at a lot of this stuff. But damn, man, that is a beautiful guitar. But no, I know this guy. Hell yeah. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of his videos. He used to have a lot different set, or set up behind him, and his videos look like they've come a long way too. As far as production value, it looks like they've gotten a lot cleaner and a lot just. He's putting a lot more work in, into his production, and it shows. So yeah, the guy's awesome. Yeah, he is funny. I like how he talks to the crew, you know, to the side, and he's a Buckeye, right on. It looks like ex-Hell's Angels, but I've been accused of that too. But yes, this is a Charvel guitar. It is the DK24 ProMod something or another. It doesn't have as complicated a name as most Ibanez's do, but at the time it was the cheapest Charvel model I could get from Zounds.com, which I was telling people last night was where I rebuilt all my gear when I had to start over and get everything. I went to Zounds because they had easy credit terms, easy payment terms. Sounds like a commercial for Zounds, but no, I started out with a couple of pedals and just worked my way up from there. I got a space pedal. Then pretty soon I got a couple of guitars. I got my bass, which I still have. I had a Surf Blue Squire Stratocaster that was badass. I really needed to put some new tuners and some pickups on it, but I ended up pawning that and getting rid of it. But I got another Squire Strat that has active electronics in it, active pickups. They're not bad. They actually sound pretty decent for stock pickups. I like them. The tuners are shit, but it's locked down with a real Floyd, so who cares? I mean, and it is a real Floyd Rose. It's not licensed, so it does not go out of tune, doesn't get stuck. It's a good instrument, heavy as hell, almost as heavy as my Schecter, which is stuck on something. It's stuck on a whammy bar, I think. Oh yeah, but yeah, I got my Schecter that I play. Not as much in here because it's so big. I bang it against the desk all the time, and I want the finish to stay pristine for at least another year. Yeah, that one is super heavy, but it plays like butter. It plays even better than this one, I swear. But of course, it has a neck through body, and I'm a big fan of neck through bodies. Now, the one thing about this Charvel, as much as I love it, and I do love it, I love the hell out of it. This is my workhorse. I do everything on it, but the neck is really sensitive. I mean, the slightest little pressure, you know, if I move that way, you know, it's gonna the intonation's gonna go off a little bit. Not so much with the Schecter. The Schecter will stay really solid. You can push that thing around a lot, and it'll, before it starts to show any signs of going, you know, not playing quite in tune. But this one, you push on a little bit, you know, it's. So I got to try to remember to be gentle with it, but it plays wonderful. I love it that much. A Hellraiser hybrid. Didn't feel it. Well, you know, when you don't feel a guitar, you just don't feel it. And I haven't played many. That's the only Schecter I've actually ever played. I've seen a lot that I thought looked really sweet, but that's the only one I've ever actually played. And I'm very happy with the way it plays. Savatage, no, John Oliver. Love Savatage. Are you kidding me? Let's whip out a Savatage lick after I take a drink of water. I can probably think of one or two that I can do pretty shitty, but Sabotage. Love Sabotage. All in the Mountain King. That's another good one. But how does it go? It's a deceptively tricky riff. In the Hall of the Mountain King. Yeah, great song. Oh, that one does. You know what one really gives me that chicken skin is Beyond the Doors of the Dark. I don't remember the intro, but it goes into the good part. Man, the high notes that guy can sing. That fucker can sing some high shit. At least because he's still alive. Is John Oliver still around? Well, hell yeah, Testament. Which one? I love that one. Electric something. When I saw him at the Orange Peel in Asheville, Eric fucked up his guitar part, and they were all having a good laugh about it. It was a great show. They came with Death Angel opened up, and me and Crystal got to sit and talk with the guitar player. What's his name? Got a picture of him. If I can think of his name. I know I've got a picture of him. Let me see if I can post it. Electric Crown, thank you. Yeah, Electric Crown, great song. Oh, I love that album. I used to have Chuck Billy on one of my friends on my old Facebook, but then my Facebook I got locked out of it. Facebook locked me out for being too politically active. And that was back in the time 5 or 6 years ago, or maybe longer, when I was getting into it with people really bad. And I don't do that anymore because it is a waste of energy and time. But no, I got locked out of that account, so I lost some friends. I'm no longer in contact with Randy Piper or Billy, but my friend Jacques Serrano still hangs out with all of them, and we've been talking about doing a project together because he can sing like crazy. If you never heard the band Taunted, check out Taunted, and you'll see my bud Jacques Serrano. We did a Kickstarter together about a year or two ago where we were trying to raise up funds to do an album with some original music, and some of the music that I actually play, like Wars and Rumors of Wars. It goes. Me and him, that was one of the tracks we were going to do, but we were going to do a bunch of stuff, and I have a whole shit list of stuff. But no, he still lives down in the Bay Area and hangs out with those guys. And Randy Maidwas, Randy Piper. Never met him in person. My Mrs. Reptilian met him and backstage in a Metallica show, and Randy Piper actually kissed her sister, who was underage at the time. I don't think Randy knew that, or I'm not sure he even cared. But different times, different times, definitely. But no, Randy was. Oh man, those are some good looks. Talk about Wasp. Okay, now, what is? Motherfucking man. Yeah. Oh. Chris Holmes. Yeah. Because he's still alive, boy. He was drinking himself to death for a while. I think my favorite album actually from Wasp, I think, was Golgotha. There's some heavy, just some dark shit. Just some dark shit on that album. But yeah, I think Blackie was going through a lot of crazy stuff at the time. I don't know a whole lot about it, but you can tell in the music that he was grinding out the heaviness. And I still love Blackie and Wasp to this day. Yeah. Testament, only saw Testament once. great show. Like I said, Death Angel was opening up. Well, I was gonna find a picture of what's his name. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time trying to find it, but Cavista, I think that was his last name. The guitar player for Death Angel. I'm curious now. I need to know. Well, what I can do is I can open. Well, duh, Bill, your browser's right in front of you. Okay. If I can find his name, then I can look it up in my files. Rob. Yeah, Rob was his first name. That came to me. I haven't even found it yet, but I remember it was Rob Castellano or something. I think that's close. Oh, here's Wikipedia. Wikipedia will tell me, because Wikipedia knows everything. Wikipedia. You can trust Wikipedia, right? Shit. When I was taking classes back in 2007, their kids would just log in. Oh, Rob Cavestany. Okay, I've got the name. Let's see if I can get the picture. If I get the picture, I'm going to share it. If not, then screw it. But because Crystal actually got hired to take photos for that show by a magazine over in Europe, a metal thrash scene, and I can't remember the guy's name. He died a few years ago. It's not coming up. Screenshot? No, that's not it. Yeah, I may not be able to find it. That's no biggie. But that is definitely not it. I could look up under Testament. I mean, that not that anybody really cares, but I'm just curious. I know I still have the photo around here somewhere. But no, we talked for quite a while. It was after their gig, and Testament was getting ready to come on. And Anthrax was going to finish, and we didn't stay for Anthrax. In fact, their drummer was, I think Benante was sick, or there was something wrong. And I think the guy from Death Angel was going to sit in for the Anthrax set, but we wanted to get out. We parked like miles away, and we wanted to get home. We had an early day the next day, so for like a couple of idiots, we went home early and we missed Anthrax, but it was still a great show no matter what. Eric and Alex, oh shit, Alex Skolnick is a freaking monster. Eric's great too, but man, Alex, man, he plays. And he plays a really large size of guitar string too. I think they're 13s or 14s just on the small E, and then just goes up from there. But that guy can shred like a mother. Oh. That's my low. I have to work on that. I got to listen to that album all over again, try and figure that stuff out. But yeah, I want to take you to a place far. Sorry, you have to listen to me sing. Blah 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 blah, blah blah blah, and disappear. And you wish no time for escaping. Wish you could with me. Is there room for us there? Something like that, I'm not sure. I'm so alone. I'm so alone. And I feel so alone. See, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. That's why I don't sing. I have no vocal control whatsoever. But yeah, great one. What's that other one that goes like this? It's off the Ritual. Oh yeah. Oh, it's called The Ritual. Duh. It's called The Ritual. Hey, Glenjamin, how you doing? Nice tone. Thank you very much. I got a million of them. No, I'm just kidding. I got a few. But hey, welcome to my stupid little session. This is just Monday morning, me hanging out and doing riffs. We're talking about Armored Saint. Right on. I don't know any Armored Saint, but this is the Glenjamin. Hey man, do you have a page or anything? Any link you want to share? Because I want you to have the ability to do that. So go right ahead. If you got it, just whip it out. And not that. Timothy. I'm just reviewing the chat a little bit in case anybody wanted to hear a riff that I missed, because I have a deep well of riff recollection. Not always entire songs, but oh crap. My camera is, I know what's going on with my camera. Hold on. Now this is what happened the other night. I forgot to plug it in. And when I did finally get around to plugging it in, I knocked it over. So hopefully I'm not we're gonna see what happens. There's my armpit. Can you do that? Well, seeing it is better than using any of your other senses. So I don't expect a thank you, but I would consider myself lucky. Oh man, I need a $500 camera. This iPhone is driving me crazy. Not that. I mean, it's not bad for an iPhone 11. It does pretty good, but it's not ideal for what I want to do. I need better lighting in here. I need to clean up this place. I need to get rid of all this shit behind me, which was part of the plan, was something I was going to get started on last week, but I never got around to it. I was busy doing so much other crazy crap, and maybe this week it'll happen. I don't know. You know, that's what I thought I bought when I got this one here that I'm pointing at, which is a Nexigo, which was supposed to be a 4K webcam, and I use Mac, so I gotta get something that's Mac compatible. Oh, okay, Glenn has a link right on. So I'm subscribed to Glenn. All right, so hey, before I keep pressing play, is this your music? Glenjamin, is this your stuff? Are you still here? Yeah. Is it because I'm assuming this is your family? Yes, right on. So let's keep it playing because this is awesome. Nice tone. That little riff. Let me rewind that. That was a slick little riff. Nice, very nice. Very fucking nicely done. Nice track, nice leads. and I love that fat neck pickup sound. And he didn't have too much delay on it, like I do a lot of times. So what else you got here? You got, oh, that's some cool stuff. I love this pig thing, this pig cartoon. It's not a cartoon, but it's an old-timey video. And of course, nobody can see what I'm looking at, but I can fix that. Actually, I can go there. What the hell? Oh, Mac OS screen capture. Okay. So what are we looking at? We want a window, and we want our other Opera browser. No, it's the same Opera. This is okay. Yeah, we got it. Okay, right on. We are making it happen right here. But so we've got, this is the pig I'm talking about. I've seen this video, and it is a weird flipping video. So you've got music to it, I'm assuming. So I can't help it. I'm gonna have to click on this. Nice. Hell yeah, I think we have a ringer here. Very nice. Hey, good stuff. Nice, nice stuff. Nice playing. Totally class playing all the way. Really enjoyed that. How long you been with us? You okay? You put that up 6 days ago, but let's go to the page. Of course, I already got rid of the screen, but this is Glenjamin. 74 videos. You've got some content. Right on. 267 subscribers. Not too shabby there, buddy. Well, you got a new fan. You got some new fans here. I can tell you that. Thanks for coming by and sharing your stuff. That's awesome. We love it. We love this stuff. Well, fucking people, you know, I hate to say this, and I try not to be crude on my show, but fuck people. You know, and I don't mean that. I mean, you know, people just, you got to find the right people. Your audience is out there, you know. I'm sharing, they're going to share, we're all going to share, and we're going to share to the people that care. And you just got to find the right group of people, because, yeah, I mean, there's enough cat videos out there. There's enough hip hop. There's enough garbage on YouTube. It's hard to sift through all that crap. But you find the right community of people, like I have luckily fallen into recently, and man, stuff, a whole new world just opens up. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. That's why I do this. That's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons I do this is for personal attention, so I can get the glory of playing in front of people. No, I'm just messing with you. I love sharing that stuff, and I love smaller channels, and I like seeing smaller channels become bigger channels, because people like you deserve it. People like you are what music is all about. And it's like the rest of the guys in here. We all just love the guitar. We love the guitar, and that is what it's all about around here. And in that, damn right, and in that spirit, I'm going to play some more guitar, because that's why I came in here this morning. So I'm going to play a song real quick, and this is called Knuckle Sandwich. Not for any particular reason, it's just because I had to call it something when I went to save the file. So let's do this. Thank you for coming again, and hope you keep coming back for more, and keep sharing your new stuff. Of course, if everybody, we all, you know, I got all my notifications on, so if you got something, you put up something new, I'll see it. And a lot of other people will too when the word starts getting around. So keep grinding it out, man. Keep putting that good stuff out there. All right, I got to mute my mic for a second. I gotta get a drink of water. Oh, thanks, Timothy. I think that's actually next. So you're being very perceptive. But no shit, Glenjamin, Glenn. Is that your real name, Glenn? Well, if it is, and if it isn't, if you just want to stay incognito, we in fact we have a guy named Incognito that comes around here, so I'm assuming he wants to stay incognito. If we're glad you're here, and thanks again for sharing your stuff. Good music, good rock guitar, love it. All right, let's play House Arrest. Why not? Since we're here, let's do something. I'm just going to cut that one short. I'm going to play one more and then I got to go. I got a lot of shit I got to do today, guys. But man, I'm sure glad I decided to do something this morning instead of just getting straight to work. I'm glad I procrastinated my work today. Because and Benjamin, hey, for the love of guitars, how you doing, man? How the heck you doing? Good Monday morning. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing all right. Keith, how are you? And I don't know if the Glenjamin is still with us. If he is, get up with me because I think we should do a collab. I think that would be a lot of fun. And if you're not here, maybe I'll find your email and stalk you until I totally creep you out. But no, I think that'd be fun. If I like what the guy does. If he's not here, then I'm talking about him in the not here sense. But I think I should approach him on that. Maybe he's into it. Maybe he's not. Either way, one more song and I got to go because I'm going to do some stuff today. I got to put some more. I've been talking about putting more fresh material for the show, or the stream, whatever I do here. And I got to get on it. First, I got to get off my lazy ass to make it happen. So let's do this, and then you guys have a great day. So, whoa, let the other song finish. Oh, it's because I have 2 tracks open. That would explain a lot. Okay, well. All right, guys, you have a great week. You have a great Monday. And we'll catch up with you. We will catch you. Oh, hey, yeah. Right on, Glenjamin. Let's do something. I'm just going to write. I'm going to do it right here in front of God and everybody because these, well, you might be able to find my YouTube. Not my YouTube. My email should be in my my channel description, but I'm not positive of that, so I'm just going to put it out here for everybody. I already get enough, spam and scammers, so I'm not worried about that. So AK Funky 7, it's like AK-47, but it's funky. It's an AK Funky 7 at gmail.com. Hook me up. Hit me up. Let's do something. I got to go. Guys, have a great one again. Great weekend. We're not there yet. Have a great week. Monday. Man, peace out. Be good.